Hello, I'm Paul Cambies, Sales Engineer with Utility Relay Company. Utility Relay Company is an industry leader in the manufacture of true RMS solid-state trip units for 600-volt class circuit breakers. Utility Relay Company is focused on doing one thing, providing retrofit kits for circuit breakers. We have over 1,000 kit designs available and are adding more as the need arises. Utility Relay Company strives to provide exceptional products and exceptional service. In this video, I will go over the basics of the AC Pro trip unit. The AC Pro is designed for use in rugged environments. The boards are conformal coated and it is housed in an extruded aluminum housing. We do not do any batch testing here at Utility Relay Company. Every product is tested under load at temperature for 24 hours before being approved. We've also designed a special computer-operated calibration system to test every unit. The computer-operated test system does the following: initial testing, calibration, final testing after the oven burn-in, and printing a final test report, which is included with every AC Pro. The AC Pro was tested by an independent laboratory and found in compliance with the following: IEEE C37.90.2 RF susceptibility, IEEE C37.90.1 surge withstand, 15 kV electrostatic discharge, and accuracy at -20°C and +65°C. The AC Pro trip unit also has UL and CE labels. The AC Pro is a true RMS microprocessor-based trip unit. Each AC Pro has the following standard trip functions: long time, short time, instantaneous, ground fault, phase unbalance, quick trip ground fault, and quick trip instantaneous. All of the protective functions are included with each AC Pro trip unit. The AC Pro has been designed to make selective coordination easy. The AC Pro has an intuitive programming interface with settings made in amps and seconds, not percentages and unrelated time band labels. Every setting is selectable off, except for long time and quick trip instantaneous. The CT rating can be set from 50 to 5,000 amps in 25 amp steps, and 5,250 to 6,000 amps in 250 amp steps. The long time pickup can be set from 20% to 100% of the CT rating in 5 amp steps. The long time delay has 58 time band settings. The short time pickup can be set from 150% to 1200% of the long time pickup setting in 100 amp steps. An off setting is available as long as instantaneous is not set to off. There are 6 short time delay bands with I2T off, and 6 short time delay bands with I2T on. The instantaneous pickup can be set from 150% to 1200% of the long time pickup setting in 100 amp steps. An off setting is available as long as short time is not set to off. The ground fault pickup can be set from 20% to 200% of the CT rating in 10 amp steps with a maximum of 1200 amps. If ground fault is not required, an off setting is available. There are 5 ground fault delay bands with I2T off and 5 ground fault delay bands with I2T on. The phase unbalance function is based on breaker currents and is used for motor anti-single phasing protection. The unbalanced pickup can be set from 20% to 50% in 5% steps with an off setting. The unbalanced delay can be set from 1 second to 60 seconds in 1 second steps. The quick trip ground fault pickup can be set from 20% to 200% of the CT rating in 10 amp steps with a maximum of 1200 amps. An off setting is available. The quick trip instantaneous pickup can be set from 150% to 1200% of the long time pickup setting in 100 amp steps. An off setting is not available. The AC Pro has a 16-character liquid crystal display with a backlight. The contrast button is used to adjust the LCD contrast. Just push and hold the contrast button until the desired contrast is reached. When the contrast button is released, the contrast adjustment is saved. The review button is used to review the last trip data, the trip counter, and the AC Pro settings. The up button, save button, and down button are only active during the programming of the AC Pro. The red pickup LED is on whenever the current on any phase is greater than the long time pickup setting. The green self-test OK LED indicates that the AC Pro is functioning properly. The AC Pro is continuously doing a self-test and checks the connection to the actuator, the software routines, and the microcontroller. The AC Pro has a 9-volt replaceable long-life lithium battery. The battery is rated for a 10-year shelf life under normal circumstances. The battery allows the AC Pro to be commissioned and for you to review last trip data when there is no CT power. The AC Pro is normally powered by the CTs. The battery only powers the unit when there is less than 10% current going through the CTs. If the battery dies, the AC Pro will retain all of its protective functions and settings. The last trip data will also be saved. To reduce the possibility of someone accidentally changing the AC Pro settings, a security key is needed when commissioning the unit or changing settings. For more information on programming the AC Pro trip unit and the key, please view our video showing how to program the AC Pro. This demo has the AC Pro trip unit, quick trip display, an actuator, and 2 versions of the quick trip switch, all mounted together so you can see how all of the parts interact. Usually only one of the quick trip switches and the quick trip display would be mounted on the outside of the cubicle door. The AC Pro and the actuator will be mounted on the breaker itself. The quick trip display gives you all of the functionality of the AC Pro except for commissioning the unit and clearing the trip counters, all without opening the cubicle door. The quick trip display allows you to view the real-time ammeter monitoring and review the AC Pro settings and last trip data. This is done using the same process as the AC Pro itself. The quick trip display is required if the quick trip feature will be used because the quick trip switch plugs into the back of the quick trip display. Also, the quick trip display has the LED that indicates that the quick trip feature is turned on and active. The demo setup is connected to our secondary injection test set. The wiring harness from the test set attaches to the top of the AC Pro trip unit and has an extra connector that attaches to the actuator. The first thing we will do with the demo setup is to check the long-time pickup of the AC Pro trip unit. The AC Pro is currently programmed for a 1600 amp CT rating and a long-time pickup of 1600 amps. Therefore, the secondary injection test set should be 1 amp plus or minus 10% at long-time pickup. I'll start the test set current at 0.98 amps on phase A, and we can see that the pickup LED is off and the display shows phase A current just less than 1600 amps. Now increasing the test set current to 1.02 amps, and we can see that the pickup LED is now on and the display shows just over 1600 amps. As you can see, the long-time pickup on phase A is well within our stated accuracy of plus or minus 10%. Now let's do a long-time trip using the secondary injection test set. I'll adjust the test set for a 3 times overload on phase A. Based on the settings in the AC Pro, it will fire the actuator in about 8 seconds. Pushing the start button on the test set will start the test set. As you can see, the AC Pro fired the actuator and stopped the test set. The test set timer reads 7.91 seconds, which is well within the tolerance band for the expected trip time of 8 seconds. The AC Pro saves the data from the most recent trip in non-volatile memory. This data includes the type of trip and the individual phase currents at the time of the trip. Now let's review the last trip data in the AC Pro. The first time the review button is pushed, the LCD will show the last trip data. In this case, it was from the long time trip we just did. If you push the review button again, the LCD will display Hold Review to view trip counts. If the review button is just briefly pushed, the trip counter will be skipped. I will push and hold the review button so we can view the trip counter. Once the trip counter is displayed on the LCD, continually pushing the review button will step through the various trip counts. After the trip counter, pushing the review button will step through the AC Pro settings. As I mentioned previously, without using the key, the settings can only be viewed and not changed. For more information on reviewing trip data and the settings on the AC Pro, please see the programming video on our website. After doing a test as we just did, it is very important to clear the last trip data so it will not confuse operating personnel. Clearing the last trip data is very easy. I will push the review button so the last trip data is displayed. While the last trip data is displayed, push both the up and down buttons. With these 2 buttons pushed, push the enter button. Then release all 3 buttons. The last trip data and trip counter is now erased, and the AC Pro should be displaying no last trip. I will briefly describe our Quick Trip feature. Quick Trip is used to reduce the arc flash hazard downstream of the breaker. Turning QuickTrip on using the QuickTrip switch turns on the QuickTrip ground fault and QuickTrip instantaneous functions. The instantaneous and ground fault settings that are activated by the QuickTrip switch are another full set of settings, not a fixed percentage. These settings can be chosen based on your ARC flash study. The QuickTrip switch can be either our standard switch or the Curt Key version. The Curt Key version provides interlocking to ensure the proper use of the QuickTrip ARC flash reduction system. The QuickTrip feature is described in full detail in another video. The AC Pro trip unit is usually sold as part of a kit that includes everything you need to completely retrofit a breaker. This is the AK-2-25 breaker with the AC Pro retrofit kit installed. This is an AK-2-25 retrofit kit which includes an AC Pro trip unit, CTs, copper details which are needed for some breakers, actuator, brackets, harness, hardware, installation instruction manual, and an AC Pro trip unit instruction manual. We have over 1,000 kit designs and are always adding more. If you have a breaker that we do not have a kit design for, please let us know and we will work with you to design a kit for that breaker. The installation instruction manual includes multiple views of assemblies along with detailed mounting instructions and templates. We also offer 3 different types of actuators. There is the manual reset, mechanical auto reset, and electric auto reset actuator. The different types of actuators will be covered in a different video. The AC Pro trip unit is also available with Modbus communications. Communications will also be covered in a different video. In addition to the AC Pro trip unit, QuickTrip display and switch, Utility Relay also offers 0 Hz DC trip unit, RS-485 Modbus communications for both the AC Pro and 0 Hz, the local communications interface, the high-speed DC trip unit for FPKH breakers, and the AC Pro MP direct replacement trip unit for the STR trip units and Master Pack breakers. This concludes the AC Pro video. If you would like more information, please visit us on the web at utilityrelay.com or give us a call. Thank you.